1. Introduction. My name is Glinda. My husband is Derek. He often invites people to our house. He invites his family and friends. He usually does not tell me before they come. He tells me on the same day. He says, "They are coming in a few hours," with a happy face. This is always a surprise for me. It is usually not a happy surprise for me. Our house is often not completely ready for guests. Sometimes we do not have enough food or drinks for extra people. So I have to go to the shop very fast. I have to clean the house very fast. I must clean the living room, the kitchen, maybe the bathroom. Then I have to cook a big meal quickly for everyone. This is very hard work for me to do in a short time. I feel very tired when this happens. I feel stressed and not happy about it. It feels like I am a busy worker, not his wife who shares the home. Derek's family visits sometimes. They look at everything in our house. They look at the furniture, the walls, the clean floor. They look at the food on the table. They talk about everything they see. They often judge things. If the house is not perfect, they talk about it later. If the food is not very good, they talk about that too. Derek always says to me, "It does not matter what they think. They do not care." But I think he is wrong. I think he knows they care and they judge. He just does not want to say it or think about it. I remember one Saturday afternoon very well. Derek came home at lunchtime. He said, "Good news. My brother and his wife are coming for dinner tonight." He said they would come at 7 o'clock in the evening. That was only 6 hours from that moment. I was already feeling very tired that day. I wanted a quiet weekend to rest at home, but I made a sound like air leaving my body, a sigh. I knew I must start working very quickly. I began to clean the house very fast. I cleaned the floors in the main rooms. I cleaned the bathroom so it looked nice. Then I had to rush to the supermarket to buy food for 4 people. I bought chicken for the main dish, some salad things, and a cake for dessert. I came home and cooked dinner for 3 hours in the kitchen. When Derek's brother and his wife came, his wife looked around the living room. She looked at the curtains. She asked me, "Are those new curtains?" But the way she looked and spoke made me feel that she did not like them at all. I smiled, but I felt very small and unimportant inside. Derek was happy. He laughed and talked loudly with his brother. He did not look at me. He did not see my tired face or how I felt. After they left our house, I had to wash all the dishes from dinner. Derek sat on the sofa and watched television. I felt very alone that night while I cleaned the kitchen. This happened many times over the years we were married. Each time it happened, I was getting more and more tired of it. It felt very unfair to me. My feelings and my time did not seem important to Derek. 2. A hard day. One Friday, Derek called me at work. It was 4 o'clock in the afternoon. His voice was happy. "Good news," he said. My parents and my aunt are coming for dinner tonight. They will be here at 8 o'clock. I looked at the clock on my wall. 4 hours. Only 4 hours. My office was not close to my house. I would arrive home much later. That left only a short time to prepare everything. His mother and his aunt were coming. They always looked very carefully at the house and the food. I felt a heavy feeling inside me. I felt very, very tired. I felt like a string that was pulled too much. Something inside me just broke. I could not do it again. I could not rush home, clean fast, run to the shop, and cook a big dinner in only a little time. Not again. I said, "Okay, Derek." My voice was quiet, but my mind was clear. I made a decision. I left work. I got in my car, but I did not drive to my house. I drove to a small park near a lake. I found a quiet place to sit on a bench. The sun was low in the sky. Birds were singing. It was quiet and peaceful. I turned off my phone. I just sat there. I watched the water. I watched the trees. I breathed slowly. For the first time in a long time, I felt a little peace. I thought about Derek. Was he home? Was he worried? Was he starting to clean or cook? I did not know. I stayed in the park for about 3 hours. It started to get dark. I felt a little afraid, but also a little strong. I knew I had to go home, but I was not ready for Derek's reaction. I turned my phone back on. There were many missed calls from Derek. Many messages came. Some messages were angry. One message said, "I canceled the dinner. They are not coming. Where are you?" I read the messages. I felt a mix of fear and a strange calm. I knew Derek would be very angry, but I also knew I could not live the old way anymore. Things had to change. I drove home slowly. My heart was beating fast, but my mind was quiet. The hard day was not finished, but I felt I had done the right thing for me. 3. He is quiet. When I came back to the house, Derek was there. He was sitting on the sofa. The television was off. The house felt dark and very quiet. It was not a happy quiet. Derek looked at me when I came in. His face did not look happy at all. It looked hard, like stone. "Where were you?" he asked. His voice was cold, like winter ice. I answered him simply, "I needed some time away from everything." I did not want to start a big fight right then, after the day I had. Derek said to me, "My parents and my aunt were going to come here for dinner." I had to call them and say no very quickly. It was very embarrassing for me to do that. I heard his words. I nodded my head slowly, understanding what he felt, but also feeling my own feelings. I asked him then, "What were you going to make for dinner for them?" I wanted to know if he had even thought about cooking or preparing food. He turned his head away from me. He did not look at my face. "I don't know," he said quietly. Then he added, very softly, "Maybe it is good that they did not come here tonight." He did not ask if I was okay after being out. He did not ask why I felt I needed time away from our home and from him. He just seemed angry and unhappy about his own situation. For the next few days, he did not talk to me very much at all. He was quiet and looked sad or angry most of the time. He often made loud sounds when he breathed out, like a deep sigh, showing he was unhappy. He made me feel like I was the bad person, the reason for all the problems we had. One evening, after many quiet days had passed like this, he finally spoke to me again. His words were not kind or understanding. "You are the problem, Glinda," he said directly to me. "You cannot just be easy about things in life. You worry too much about small things. You are not helpful or cooperative." His words made me feel a deep sadness inside. They hurt my feelings like a sharp stone. But this time, I did not cry tears like I might have before. It felt like a strong wall was starting to grow inside me, around my heart, protecting it a little. I spoke to him then. My voice was not loud or angry, but it was clear and steady. "Derek," I said, "I have told you many times before this happened. I am happy to have guests come to our house. I like to share our home, but I need you to tell me earlier than a few hours before they come. Maybe 1 day or 2 days before. That is all I ask from you. It is not about worrying too much or being difficult. It is about showing respect. Respect for me and respect for my time and my work." He moved his head from side to side, saying no to my words. "You just like to make things difficult for me," he said again. He stood up quickly from the sofa. He walked away from me and went into the bedroom we share. He closed the door loudly behind him. The cold silence stayed in the house after he left the room. He did not talk to me for many more days. The quiet feeling in our house was very heavy, like a dark cloud. I felt sad because we were not speaking to each other like husband and wife should. But I also felt a little bit stronger inside my heart. I started to truly believe that I was not the problem in our marriage. Maybe he was the one with the problem, the one who could not understand. This difficult time was hard to live through, but it also felt like a big change was happening for me. 4 sad days. After our big fight, the days were very difficult. We lived in the same house, under the same roof, but it felt like we lived in different countries. We did not talk much, almost nothing at all. We were like 2 people who did not know each other. It was very strange. Derek spoke to me only when he needed something simple. "Is there any milk?" he would ask. Or, "Did you see my keys?" His voice was flat. There was no warmth in it, no kindness. He did not smile at me. He did not look at me for long. I tried to talk to him a few times. I said, "Derek, we need to talk about what happened. We need to talk about us." But he always had a reason not to talk. He would say, "I am very tired tonight," or "I have a lot of work I must finish." Or sometimes he would just stand up and walk out of the room. He did not want to listen to my feelings. It felt like a quiet, cold fight between us. No words were spoken about the problem, but the silence was loud. I felt he was angry with me. I felt he was punishing me by not talking. He wanted me to feel bad. He wanted me to say I was sorry for not being home that day. He wanted me to go back to being the wife who always did what he wanted. But I knew I could not do that. I did not want to be that person anymore. I started to think a lot about my life, about our marriage. When we first met, Derek was a happy person. He made me laugh. We were a team. Now I felt like I was just someone who cleaned and cooked for him and his family. Was this really what a marriage was? Was this love? To feel worried and not important, to be called difficult just because I asked for respect. So, I decided to change something. I started to do things just for myself. Small things that made me feel better. I read books that I liked, books that maybe he would not like. I called my old friends I had not talked to much since I married Derek. We talked for a long time about everything. I started to go for walks alone in the park near our house. I sat on a bench. I looked at the trees. I felt the sun on my face. I felt the quiet. Every day, doing these small things, I felt a little bit better. It was like finding a small piece of my old self again. The Glinda I was before all the stress and the surprise guests. I was still sad about the distance between me and Derek. The house felt heavy with the unspoken words. It was not a happy place. Sometimes, when he was not looking, I would look at Derek. He looked unhappy too. His face was often serious. But he was too proud to talk to me, too stubborn to try and fix things. I knew this situation could not continue forever. Something had to change. And if he was not going to be the one to change, then maybe I had to be strong and change things myself. I was sad about the way things were, but I was not sad about the decision I made that day in the park. My time and my energy were for me now, not for his last-minute plans or his silent anger. 5. It happens again. The house was still very quiet. Many weeks passed by. Derek and I did not speak much. We lived in the same house, but we were like two people who did not know each other well. The silence felt heavy, like a thick fog in the room. I was slowly getting used to this life. I was not truly happy, but I was not sad all the time now. I stopped trying to make Derek talk. I started to think about myself and what I needed. I made quiet plans in my mind. One Thursday afternoon, I was sitting in the kitchen. I was reading a book. Derek came into the room. He had a smile on his face, but it looked a little strange. It was not a real, happy smile. "Good news," he said. His voice was too loud for the quiet house. "My cousin Martin is here in town. He has a new girlfriend with him. They are coming here tonight for dinner. They will be here around 7:30. I looked up from my book. I looked at Derek's face. I did not say anything for a moment. Inside my heart, I felt a strange calm. It was not the panic I felt before when this happened. It was a feeling of being strong. I knew what I was going to do. I was going to do nothing. "Okay," I said quietly. I looked back down at my book and started to read again. Derek did not move. He stood there for a moment. He looked surprised. Maybe he thought I would jump up and start running around. He waited. Then he spoke again. "So, are you going to?" he started to ask. "Going to what, Derek?" I asked him. I did not look up this time. "You know, get things ready for the guests," he said. I put my book down slowly. I looked at him again. I looked right into his eyes. "No, Derek," I said. My voice was clear and steady. "I am not going to get things ready." His face changed very fast. The strange smile was gone. He looked angry now. His voice became louder. "What do you mean you are not?" he asked loudly. "I mean I will not go to the supermarket to buy food. I will not clean the house for your guests. I will not cook dinner," I said. My voice was still quiet. "I had a long day at work. I am tired. I want to relax tonight." He stared at me with wide eyes. He could not believe what I was saying. "But they are coming." "My cousin Martin, you have to help." "Yes, your cousin is coming," I said again. "You asked them to come to our house. You told me only now. You can prepare for them yourself." His face turned bright red. He was very, very angry now. "Glinda, you must do this. It is your job as my wife. Clean the house now. Go cook food quickly," he shouted at me. I stood up from my chair. I felt my legs were strong. "No, Derek, I do not have to do it," I said. I kept my voice quiet. "I told you many times that I need to know about guests before the same day. You chose not to listen to me. So this is your problem. You must prepare for your guests." I walked out of the kitchen. I left him standing there alone. His mouth was open a little. I felt a little bit scared inside because he was so angry. But I also felt a new feeling. It was a feeling of power. This time, I would not run away from the house. I would stay here, and I would do nothing to help him with his last-minute guests. 6 guests come. I went into the bedroom and closed the door. I could hear Derek in the house. He was moving things with loud sounds. He was angry. I put on my headphones and listened to some music. I wanted to feel calm. Around 7 o'clock in the evening, I left the bedroom. I walked into the living room. It looked like a usual day. There were magazines on the table. There was a cup from the morning. It was not ready for visitors. The kitchen was worse. Derek had tried to cook something. There were pots on the cooker, but there was no food cooking. It looked like he stopped trying. The table and the floor were dirty. Derek was in the living room. He was walking back and forth. He looked very stressed. He looked angry too. When he saw me, he looked at me with hard eyes. "Are you really doing this?" he asked quietly, sounding angry. "Doing what, Derek?" "Sitting in my house?" I asked. Just then, the front door bell rang. Derek looked very white, then very red. He quickly touched his hair. Then he went to open the door. His cousin Martin came in with a woman. I did not know her. They were smiling. "Hello, Derek. Good to see you. This is Chloe," Martin said. "Martin, Chloe, come in, please," Derek said. He tried to sound happy. Chloe looked around the house. Her smile changed a little. She looked at the kitchen. Martin also looked quickly at the kitchen. They could see it was not clean. They looked a little surprised. I could feel that Derek felt very embarrassed. Derek showed me to them. "This is my wife, Glinda," he said. I smiled politely. "Hello, Martin, Chloe. It is nice to meet you," I said. There was a quiet moment. Chloe looked towards the kitchen again. She wanted to be helpful. "Is there anything I can help with for dinner?" she asked. This was my time to speak. I smiled a little. "Oh, dinner. Yes, I was thinking about that too. I wanted pizza tonight, so I ordered a pizza just for myself. It should be here soon," I said. I looked at Derek. "Derek, what will you give your guests to eat? Maybe you can clean the kitchen and cook something for them yourself. I will eat my pizza in peace." Martin looked very surprised. Chloe looked like she wanted to disappear. Derek's face was full of anger. He looked very, very angry. He was also very shocked. 7. After the visit, the room became very quiet after I spoke. Martin looked at Derek, then at me. Chloe looked very uncomfortable. I think they both wanted to leave our house quickly. Derek did not say anything for a moment. He just stood there. After some time, Martin spoke. Derek," he said, "Chloe and I had a big lunch. We are not very hungry. Maybe we should meet another time." "Yes," Chloe said fast. "Another time would be good." "We should go now." Derek said something quiet like, "Okay." He walked with them to the door. I heard short goodbyes. Then the door closed. The guests left very quickly. Derek turned back to me. His face was dark. He was very angry. But he did not shout this time. He just looked at me with cold eyes. Then he turned and walked away from me. He went into the spare bedroom. I heard the door close loudly. He slammed the door. My pizza arrived a few minutes later. I ate it alone in the kitchen. Derek had tried to cook, and the kitchen was a mess. The pizza tasted good. I felt a strange calm inside. I had done it. I had stood up for myself. The family did not visit without asking after that night. Derek told me later that his mother called him. She asked if everything was okay because Martin said their visit was unusual. I just nodded. They understood the message. But Derek did not speak to me at all, not one word. If I was in a room, he would leave. He slept in the spare bedroom every night. The silence was complete now. It was not a little silence like before. It was a big wall of ice between us. I knew this kind of silence could end our marriage. I felt a sad kind of peace. I was not fighting anymore. I was not trying to make him understand. I was just waiting. But I did not know what I was waiting for anymore. 8. A new start. The house stayed very quiet for 2 weeks. Derek did not speak a single word to me. He moved through the house like a ghost, always making sure he did not look at me or be in the same room for long. He probably thought that his long silence would make me feel bad and ask for his forgiveness. But I had changed inside. I was not the same person anymore. I was very tired of the silence and the problems that never stopped. I knew deep in my heart that I could not live this kind of life anymore. One evening, I was sitting at the kitchen table. I had some important papers in my hands. Derek came into the kitchen to get a glass of water. He saw me sitting there, and just like he had done for 14 days, he turned quickly to leave the room. "Derek, please wait," I said. My voice was quiet, but it was very steady. He stopped moving, but he kept his back towards me. He did not turn around to face me. "If this is how you want things to be," I continued talking, "this silence between us, this feeling of nothing, then I cannot stay. I am finished trying to make you understand how I feel. I am finished being the only one who tries to make things better." He still did not move or say anything. I stood up from the table. I walked slowly over to where he was standing. I carefully placed the papers I was holding into his hand. "These papers are for a divorce," I told him. My voice was calm, which surprised even me. "I am completely finished. I will not waste my energy on this marriage anymore. I want a life where I am treated with respect, not just a life where I am expected to work like a servant." He slowly turned his body around. He looked down at the papers he held in his hand. Then he lifted his eyes and looked at me. His face was not angry like it had been before. It was full of great surprise. He looked truly shocked. It was clear he never thought I would actually do this thing. He must have thought I would always wait for him to stop being quiet and angry. "Divorce," he whispered softly. It was the first word he had spoken directly to me in exactly 2 weeks. "Yes," I said again. I felt a single tear roll down my face. But this tear was not because I was sad about losing Derek. It was a tear for all the time that was lost, for the good things that could have happened but did not. But more than anything, I felt a feeling of lightness. It felt like a very heavy weight had been lifted from my shoulders. "I was not being difficult, Derek," I said quietly. "I was simply asking for respect. You were not able to give that to me, so I am now giving myself the chance to find happiness." I walked away from him, leaving him standing there alone with the papers in his hand. I went into the bedroom that was now just mine and started to pack a small bag with some clothes. I planned to stay at my sister's house for a short time. As I put my things into the bag, a small smile slowly came onto my face. Derek was shocked, yes, but I felt happy. Or at least, I felt I was starting on the road to finding happiness. The path in front of me was not clear yet, but it was my path. My energy belonged to me now. I would not let it be wasted anymore. I felt a quiet feeling of hope grow strong inside my heart. This was truly a new beginning for my life.